Welcome back to Klingon Games. Today we are continuing my hardcore Reverse-Genlocke series in Pokemon Ruby. For anyone unaware of what a Nuzlocke is a playstyle in Pokemon with self-imposed rules to increase the challenge. The main rules of a Nuzlocke are: one Pokemon can be caught from each area. If a Pokemon faints, it is dead and must be permanently boxed or released. All Pokemon must be nicknamed. When it comes to deaths, I prefer to box so I can keep the dead box in memorial. For the hardcore rules, I cannot overlevel the next gym leader or Elite Four's ace. No items in battle except for held items. All battles must be played in set mode. Also, I play with the dupes clause so I can re-roll encounters until I find a new Pokemon. In a Genlock, you play through all the Pokemon games and you carry over your team from the previous games. For this special run, which I call a Reverse-Genlocke, I am not allowed to use a Pokemon that has entered the Hall of Fame in a previous run. These are the banned Pokemon so far. Luckily, most of these Pokemon aren't available in Hoenn, so my choices won't be limited so far. I won't talk about every Pokemon I catch, only the Pokemon that have an impact on the run. Now let's go ahead and get into the run. I forgot to record this part, but I named myself Kling to start the game, so I'll mention that as we watch my character sit in a dark truck with the rest of his mom's junk. I head upstairs and come down to see my mom was watching TV about my alleged dad. I head to the neighbor's house to meet my, rival? After that, I head up to the first route to see the resident expert on Pokemon being bullied by a small puppy. I grab a Mudkip out of his bag and use it to beat up that mean dog. We head back to the lab where the professor gives me the Mudkip, who I named Kippy, and asks me to meet his daughter. By meet, I assume he means humiliate in a Pokemon battle by a literal first-time trainer. So that's what we do, finishing the battle by rubbing mud in her Trico's eyes. I head back to the lab where my rampant bullying is rewarded with a Pokedex. Also, May gives me some Pokeballs as a bribe so we stop bullying her. When we try to leave home without talking to my mom, she stops us in the middle of the road to give us running shoes. And with that, our Nuzlocke has officially started. Because we grabbed Kippy on Route 101, I count him as the encounter for that route. In Route 103, we run into a Poochyena. We catch the Poochyena after a mud slap and name it Bork. Afterwards, we head west to Route 102 and find a Zigzagoon who we catch and name Stripes. Stripes is an amazing Pokemon to get early because it has Pickup, which has no limits in Ruby, so we can get items like nuggets and rare candies immediately. After training up the team, we head to the local gym and meet our dad, who immediately pawns his responsibilities on us and has us mentor some weird kid in town. We take the kid into the grass and he, by pure chance, catches the rarest Pokemon in the area. I really hate this kid. Our dad then tells us we're not good enough to battle him and we need to earn his love with badges. In Route 104, we run into a Wurmple. Wurmple is an interesting Pokemon that can evolve into two different final forms. It's random which it will be, so I name it Mystery. After some training, Mystery hits level 7 and evolves into a Silcoon, meaning Mystery's final form will be a Beautyfly. I train up my new Mystery some more until it hits level 10 and evolves into a Beautyfly, which is up there with the weakest fully evolved Pokemon. Go us. I take the team into the Petalburg Woods. Before we find our encounter, we run into a Cascoon, which is the other Wurmple evolution. Because they share Wurmple as the initial form, I don't count this as a unique encounter, which is also true of the Evolutions, which is why I did not attempt to use one in Red. If one form enters the Hall of Fame, all potential evolutions will be banned. Anyway, after that I run into my encounter Shroomish, who I catch in a Premier Ball and name Mr. Shroom. Put some respect on his name. After training Mr. Shroom to match the rest of the team, I head further into the woods and find a guy in a suit who gets attacked by Team Magma. The Team Magma grunt only has a Poochyena, so Mr. Shroom paralyzes him with Stun Spore. After that, taking him down is no problem, and we save the random businessman. I get to Rustboro Town without any issues and get the Cut HM from the Cutmaster, just because he likes the way I look. And I get the Quick Law from a teacher threatening child abuse to his students. Weird town. I use a Repel to get through Route 116 into Rustsurf Tunnel so I can encounter a Whismur. I catch Whismur, which I name Amp. Good call on the Repel. After I get back to Route 116, my first encounter is a Whismur, which I can luckily reroll. Mr. Shroom wears down the Whismur with Leech Seed so I can get my Route 116 encounter, which ends up being a Tailo. Lucky for me, Tailo just uses Focus Energy repeatedly and lets me catch it and nickname it Tay-Tay. With all my available encounters caught, I train my team up to the level cap and take on the first gym leader, Roxanne. Roxanne leads Geodude and I lead Bork. 2 bites gets Geodude into potion range with a flinch for good measure. Another bite makes Roxanne waste her second potion before Bork takes down Geodude with another bite. Then Roxanne brings in her ace, Nose Pass. A couple bites does solid damage before Nose Pass hits hard with Rock Tomb, forcing me to switch to Kippy. Kippy gets hit by a Rock Throw and a Rock Tomb, but gets some good Mud Slaps in, lowering Nose Pass's accuracy. After that I switch into Mr. Shroom and get hit before setting up Leech Seed. Nose Pass gets another Rock Tomb in before going down to an Absorb and Leech Seed damage, winning us the battle and getting us our first badge. After winning the battle, I head back into Petalburg Woods with Cut and pick up the Miracle Seed. I head back north to see another Magma Grunt running into Route 16. The same businessman as before asks me to get his stolen stuff back. If the legal system relies on 10-year-old vigilantes, this world has some major issues. Either way, the Magma Grunt is easily taken care of by Tay-Tay, and we save a Wingull too. That's lucky. I meet a major CEO who gives me more work for my good performance. Typical. Oh well, the owner of the Wingull I saved gives us a free ride to Dewford Town, the location of my first errand and the second gym. First item of business on Dewford is to head into the Granite Cave where I run into a Makuhita. Kippy lowers her health when we manage to catch and name Makuhita Sumet. Going further into the cave, Kippy hits level 16 and evolves into a Marsh Stomp, followed shortly with meeting and delivering a letter to Stephen Stone, who gives us a TM in gratitude. Little does he know, his dad is paying me for the delivery with an experience share. Sucker. With that errand done and my new encounter completed, I get the team trained up to the level cap. In the process, Bork hits level 18 and evolves into Mightyena, an objectively bad Pokemon, but one I like, so it's sticking around. Before we take on Brawly, I get Tailo poisoned by a wild Pokemon. Tailo has the Guts ability, so its attack gets doubled if it has a status condition. With our team prepped, we take on the fighting leader, Brawly. Brawly leads Machop and I lead Tay-Tay. With the Guts boost, Tay-Tay is able to easily knock out Machop with a wing attack. Brawly then sends out his ace, Makuhita, who also falls to a single wing attack, winning us the battle and our second gym badge. After the badge, we get a ride to Slateport and get the soft sand from a small child, and I head into the Slateport Museum to deliver a package to Captain Stern, but two more Magma Grunts show up and try to steal it. The good news is that they both kind of suck. Bork is able to take both out with no issue, and we meet the leader of Team Magma, Maxie, who decides not to battle us here. We head north to Route 110 to find our rival May, who decides to challenge us to a battle. May leads Wailmer and we lead Bork. Bork takes down Wailmer with 3 bites, only taking 1 water gun in the process and getting a flinch. May then sends out her starter, Grovyle. Grovyle does some solid damage and extends the battle with Absorb, but Bork is able to take it out after several bites. Leading to May's last Pokemon, Numel, so we switch out into Kippy. Kippy takes a Light Ember before knocking out Numel with Water Gun, winning us the battle. Another wonderful performance by May. I get to Mauville and get a free bike just because I walked far. Interesting business practice. I also run into Wally, who has his little I'm a rival too moment, but he still only has a Ralts who gets knocked out in 1 hit. I do not like Wally at all. We start training up to the level cap and Tay-Tay hits level 22, evolving into a Swellow. We also get Mr. Shroom up to level 23 and it evolves into a Breloom, one of my all-time favorites. Now with our team up to the level cap, we go to take on Watson, the electric leader. Watson leads Magnemite and we lead Kippy. Now normally Watson is the toughest gym leader to face if you don't have the right Pokemon. Fortunately, we do have the right Pokemon. Kippy easily takes out Magnemite and Voltorb before getting confused. So we bring in Sumet, who takes out Magneton with a Fake Out and a Vital Throw, winning us our 3rd badge. Heading north into the mountain area, Sumet hits level 24 and evolves into a powerhouse Hariyama. After the new evolution, I get through Fiery Path and Fall Arbor Town and encounter a Zangoose on Route 114. With a Fake Out and a couple Ultra Balls, we catch Zangoose and nickname him Logan because he reminds me of Wolverine. Logan sort of joins the team as we keep Stripes around for pickup. We get to Meteor Falls and find Team Magma stealing a meteorite from a scientist they convince to help them. Then Team Aqua shows up to accomplish nothing as Team Magma gets away. But they tell us where to find Team Magma, so that's not nothing, right? Regardless, on the way out we run into a Solrock. Tay-Tay hits a couple wing attacks, and we bring in Bork to throw balls until we catch it. Luckily, we eventually do and nickname our new rock Omen. And we head up Mount Chimney to stop Team Magma from forcing an eruption. We run into Maxie at the summit, who doesn't seem to understand that lava would kill everyone. We're in luck though, since Maxie decides to settle the matter with a battle. Maxie leads Mightyena and we lead Mr. Shroom. Mr. Shroom is able to shrug off Mightyena's bites and KO with 2 Mach Punches and a Mega Drain. Maxie brings in his camera up, so we switch out to Kippy as he focuses his energy. Camera up then hits a weak Ember as we KO with 2 water guns. Finally, Maxie brings in Golbat, so we switch in Bork to intimidate the Golbat before swapping again into Zangoose. Zangoose's slashes don't do as much as I thought they would, so Bork comes back in to hit a bite and swap into Tay-Tay, who finishes the battle with a wing attack. Honestly not sure what I was doing with all that switching, but it gets us the win. Archie then thanks us before leaving. With that out of the way, we get the team up to the level cap and prepare for Flannery, the Fire-type gym leader. Flannery leads Slugma and we lead Kippy. Kippy misses a mugshot as Slugma sets up Sunny Day, but Kippy is able to knock it out turn 2 with another mudshot. Flannery then sends her second Slugma, who also falls to mudshot. Finally, Flannery brings in her ace Torkoal. We hit a soft mud slap as Torkoal paralyzes Kippy with a body slam. Torkoal hits another strong body slam as Kippy is stuck paralyzed twice in a row and gets hit with Attract. With Kippy in danger and nearly useless, we swap to Sumet, who also gets paralyzed with body slam. We hit a strong fake out and follow up with 3 arm thrusts. Torkoal responds with a flail but falls the next turn to a Vital Throw, securing the win and another gym badge for us. Closer battle than I was hoping, but an inconvenient miss and bad paralysis luck let Flannery stick around. When we leave the gym, May shows up and gives us the Go Goggles. With goggles on, I run into the desert and we get our first case of running into a banned encounter. Sandshrew was our first encounter for Route 111. However, Sandshrew entered the Hall of Fame in gold, so we knock it out and move on to our true encounter, which ends up being Trapinch. Mr. Shroom sets up a Leech Seed, but we catch it with our first ball and name him Garchomp 1. With everything taken care of, we head back to Petalburg, poisoning Tay-Tay and Sumet, as we go to take on our dad, the normal gym leader, Norman. Norman leads with his first Slacking, and we lead Sumet. Sumet hits a guts-boosted fake-out and forces Slacking to flinch. On its loafing turn, Sumet hits a hard Vital Throw, bringing Slacking to a sliver. Norman heals up as we hit 5 arm thrusts to get Slacking back into the red. Slacking then loafs again, and we finish it with another Vital Throw. Norman then brings out Vigoroth. We switch into Bork to get Intimidate as he tanks a Facade. After that, we perform a double switch out into Kippy and back into Bork, piling up Intimidates. With its attack lowered, we bring Mr. Shroom into Vigoroth to set up Leech Seed, unfortunately missing our first attempt. With our setup done, Bork comes back in to tank attacks and finish Vigoroth off with a bite and Leech Seed damage. Finally, Norman's ace, Slacking number 2. I made a very dumb mistake here, forgetting about Norman spamming Focus Punch and swapping in Stripes. Stripes instantly dies but gives us a free swap to Sumet, but we could have just attacked with Bork and swapped during a loafing turn. Not smart, but Sumet comes in to take down Slacking with 2 Vital Throws and a 4-hit arm thrust, winning us the battle and our 5th gym badge. Plus, we are officially better than our dad, so there's that. With Stripes dead, Omen joins the team and Sumet is benched for Logan. And we can surf now, so we can finally head over to the eastern half of the map, letting us clear through the routes and arriving at the Weather Institute that Team Magma has taken over. We take on the admin and take her out. She only has 2 Pokemon and neither are very strong, so Bork takes them out with no issues. As we're leaving the Weather Institute, May shows up once again to fight for relevance. She leads Numel and we lead Bork. A bite and a strength KO Numel, who only gets a light attack in, leading to Grovyle. Grovyle hits 2 strong Leaf Blades but falls to another 2 strengths, bringing in her final Pokemon, Wailmer. Mr. Shroom comes in but gets confused by Water Pulse. After hitting itself in confusion, Mr. Shroom is able to set up Leech Seed. Mr. Shroom then breaks out of confusion, hits a bit of a Mega Drain, and immediately gets confused again. Terrible confusion luck is going to be a theme for this run. Despite 3 consecutive turns of hitting itself in confusion, Leech Seed is able to deal the remaining damage and finish the battle. We get to and through Fort Tree City and run into a Marill on Route 120 that we catch and name Peekaboo, the real name for the species. Just south, we encounter Steven Stone again, who shows us a weird lizard and tells us to fight it. Omen is able to take it down without issue, which Steven seems to enjoy and gives us the Devon Scope. Thanks, Steven. With that done, we train the team up to the level cap and poison Tay-Tay to prepare for the gym. We take on the gym leader of Fort Tree City, Winona, the flying leader. Winona leads Swellow and we lead Omen. Swellow hits a light aerial ace and Omen nearly KOs with a rock throw. Winona heals Swellow up as Omen hits a light confusion. Swellow then swaps out for Winona's Skarmory as we hit another rock throw. Luckily, we prepared for this and can KO Skarmory with an overheat, leading to Pelipper. Pelipper is a bad matchup for Omen, so we switch out to Logan, who gets hit by a water gun on the way in. Logan then sets up 3 sword dances, with one luckily happening while Pelipper protects and another during a missed supersonic. With maxed out attack, Logan is able to knock out Pelipper with a slash, Swellow with a slash, and Altaria with a slash. I looked up the level caps on Cerebi, which is a great site, but it listed the level cap as 34 when it should be 33. I don't believe the single level cap made a difference here, and we get our 6th gym badge. With the 6th gym badge in hand, we head south toward Mount Pyre to keep our date with Team Magma. We get to the top of the tower to find Maxie stealing the blue orb to awaken Groudon. Let me repeat, the blue orb to awaken Groudon. This time he doesn't even battle me for it. Talk about poor sportsmanship. Either way, we get the red orb. Shortly after, Kippy reaches level 36 and finally evolves into his final form, Swampert. With my new Swampert, I head into Lily Cove City and take on May for the final time. May leads Swellow and I lead Logan. Logan sets up 2 sword stances, while Swellow sets up 2 double teams. Luckily, the double teams don't matter as we hit our first slash to KO Swellow, leading to Numel, who also falls to 1 slash. Next in was Wailmer. Was because it's already down to a slash. Finally comes in Grovyle, who surprisingly also goes down to slash. The new rivals get a lot of flack, but Gen 3 will always have the worst rivals in my book. With that taken care of, we fly to Slateport to watch Team Magma steal a submarine in front of a huge group of people. How did they even get in there? I honestly don't understand. Magic aside, they have the sub, and being the only 10-year-old around, it's my job to find them. We follow them into the Magma hideout, where the most threatening thing we find is a wild electrode that nearly KOs Kippy with self-destruct. That was very close to activating my gold PTSD. We get to the end of the hideout and take on Admin Tabitha. Interesting name, less interesting battle. Tay-Tay takes down Numel, Kippy and Mr. Shroom take down Mightyena, and Kippy one-shots Camerupt. Pretty typical Team Magma battle. But of course, Maxie gets away in the sub after the battle. And with that, we surf across the ocean to Moss Deep City, where we make no apologies breaking into Steven's home. He's surprisingly cool about it and gives us an HM. Man, Hoenn rewards some weird behavior. We also get the Super Rod from a fisherman in town. After clearing out the gym trainers, I decide to try my hand at terrible decision making while fishing up a Sharpedo. I get Sharpedo low with Mega Drain and then attempt to catch it. It continually breaks out of balls and lands several scary faces and screeches on Mr. Shroom. But the only attacking move it was using was Crunch. I thought it only had water and dark type moves, so I didn't pay mind to the defense drops. Big mistake. Sharpedo busts out Slash and kills Mr. Shroom. RIP, first major death of the run. Bort comes in and we eventually catch Sharpedo after several Ultra Balls, but spoiler, Sharpedo gets no use, so this is effectively the worst trade we could pull off. Sumet rejoins the team in Mr. Shroom's place. Sumet is at a lower level than the rest of the team, and the next 2 gyms only have a single level difference in the cap. So I get the team up to level 40 and go to take down the twin gym leaders, Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza send out their Lunatone and Solrock, and we lead Bork and Kippy. A Bite and Surf combo knocks out Solrock on turn 1 as Lunatone sets up Light Screen. Another Bite and Surf gets Lunatone to a sliver as it misses Hypnosis. Lunatone gets healed up as yet another Bite Surf combo takes it under 50%. Finally, the 4th Bite Surf combo takes down Lunatone and wins us the battle. Probably the least threatening gym fight possible. 7 badges down. With the badge in hand, we're able to use Dive to chase Team Magma at the bottom of the ocean. Kind of makes you wonder, if Maxie just collected 7 badges, he could have pulled off his plan without the need to steal a ship. Regardless, we get to and through the seafloor cavern and somehow get to Groudon before Maxie does. He runs in behind us and battles us for dibs on waking up Groudon. Maxie leads Mightyena and we lead Logan. Logan dances with swords while Mightyena hits a scary face. Logan then gets hit hard with takedown before swords dancing again and hitting a quick attack and getting roared out. Peekaboo, the HM slave, comes in, so we switch out to Kippy. Maxie uses a super potion, really? Before Kippy knocks out Mightyena with Surf. Crobat then comes in for Maxie. It hits 2 wing attacks and gets healed by another super potion, but Kippy is able to take it down fairly easily with 3 ice beams. Finally, Maxie's ace, Camerupt, comes in and goes down with a quick Surf from Kippy, winning us the battle. But Maxie had his fingers crossed and wakes up Groudon anyway with the blue orb. Groudon is offended by its blatant blueness and leaves, but makes it hella bright outside. Team Akko comes in to remind Maxie how expensive sunscreen is and that he's being very inconsiderate. We all head outside onto a convenient shallow ring so Archie can give Maxie a talking to. and for Steven to literally fly in to also talk about how it's too hot outside, and offers us Pseudopolis in this trying time. We follow his advice and head to Pseudopolis to meet Steven and his buddy Wallace. Wallace loves our cool red jewelry and says that as the most stylish, it is my duty to take on Groudon. Not cool, Wallace, not cool. We get through the dark circular cave and find Groudon just chilling in the basement, and decide to take it on. We lead Tay-Tay, who hits a very light aerial ace before surviving Slash on literally 1 HP. We switch out to Omen, who takes a heavy fire blast and gets burnt. So we switch again into Bork to get an Intimidate down. Probably should have stuck in a little longer, but we switch to Sumet, who eats a fire blast and gets some chip with Fake Out. Bork comes in for another Intimidate as Groudon sets up a Bulk Up. Groudon offsets both Intimidates by bulking up again as we hit a Scary Face. Sumet comes in again and barely lives a Slash before chipping away with a Fake Out. We bring in Kippy, who doesn't take an Earthquake nearly well enough. With the Sun Up, I go with my best option and hit an Ice Beam that does solid damage but comes nowhere close to a KO, and Groudon kills Kippy with Earthquake. With Kippy down, I go with the Hail Mary and bring in Tay-Tay to endeavor Groudon to 1 HP. And Groudon tries Earthquake on a flying Pokemon, letting us kill it with a Quick Attack. Groudon is an absolute monster, so it's lucky to only lose 1 Pokemon, but Kippy is a tough loss to take. Kippy takes his place in the dead box, and Garchomp 1 joins the team in his place. A bad move in hindsight with a Water Gym coming up. But with the plot wrapped up, the only thing left for us to do is to train up the team before the final battle. During the grind, Garchomp 1 evolves into a Vibrava, the only Dragon type available to us. And we pre-poison Sumet and Tay-Tay. So we take on the final gym leader, Wallace, and his water Pokemon. Wallace leads Luvdisc and we lead Logan. Logan sets up a Swords Dance and Luvdisc hits an Attract. We try to set up another Swords Dance, but Logan is immobilized and Luvdisc hits a Sweet Kiss to confuse us. We switch in Bork to get rid of the confusion and attraction as Luvdisc hits a Water Pulse. Bork is able to hit a taunt to prevent Sweet Kiss and Attract, and we switch back into Logan, who gets hit by a Water Pulse and gets confused again. We switch back into Bork to get rid of confusion and hit a Scary Face while Luvdisc attracts. Bork tries to taunt, but we are immobilized by Love again, giving Luvdisc a free Water Pulse. Bork gets through attraction the second time and gets taunt off, so we switch back into Logan, who again is immediately confused by Water Pulse. So it's back into Bork, who gets a couple bites to get Luvdisc low, baiting a potion as we switch back into Logan. We get a Swords Dance off as Luvdisc hits Attract. We are again prevented from getting a second Swords Dance off as Luvdisc hits a critical hit Water Pulse. Our pivot is getting low on health, so we switch into Peekaboo, who gets confused and hits itself in confusion. Next we switch into Sumet and back into Logan, who is immediately confused again by Water Pulse. We go back into Peekaboo to die and waste some Water Pulse PP, and bring in Logan again. We set up a Swords Dance and get hit by Water Pulse. We can't take another one, so I cannot set up my second Swords Dance and just KO Luvdisc with a Slash. Wallace brings in Whiscash. Whiscash survives a Slash due to us not getting the second dance off, and kills Logan with an Earthquake. Sumet comes in for us. She gets outspeed by Whiscash and has to eat an Earthquake before knocking it out with an Arm Thrust. Wallace brings in his Celio next. Sumet only gets 2 hits with her Arm Thrust, allowing Celio to live and hit an Aurora Beam, doing enough damage to let Poison kill Sumet. We bring in Tay-Tay, who finishes Celio with Aerial Ace. Wallace then brings in his ace, Milotic. Tay-Tay does decent damage with Aerial Ace and barely survives an Ice Beam. Unfortunately, again, the damage is enough for Poison to get the kill, bringing an end to Tay-Tay. Omen comes in and sets up Solar Beam as Milotic recovers. Solar Beam does pitiful damage as Milotic hits a huge Water Pulse. Omen then does more damage with Rock Slide before going down to Ice Beam. Finally, a very damaged Bork comes in, fails to KO with Strength, and goes down to Water Pulse, causing us to white out and fail the Nuzlocke. A very disappointing end to this attempt. RNGesus was not on our side against Wallace. The Luvdisc just got all the statuses it needed to neuter our strategy and cause us to lose. My own dedication to the Swords Dance strat didn't help, but it was our best chance of taking down Milotic. It's important when you take on a major battle, you keep yourself flexible. I also think I was looking past Wallace to the Elite Four, so I didn't bother to train up Peekaboo, who could have been a more useful pivot in the battle. Because of the nature of the challenge, my red and gold attempts and the ban list still stands, and I will start again at the beginning of Ruby for my next run, hopefully to better results with more thought out strategies. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you come back for my next attempt at Ruby, which I'm hoping is successful.